Morning.
Morning, mate. How's it going?
Good man. How you been?
Yeah, good. Thank you. Good. Right. Okay. Perfect. Pretty cold this morning.
It's freezing. Innit? I went out for a run and it was like too chilly.
Tell me about it. Ooh. Okay. Morning, everyone. Looks like GJ's a little bit messy here this morning. What time did you get up?
5.
Ooh, man, how'd you get up that early?
I don't know. I always wake up at 5. It's weird. I go to bed at like 8:30, 9.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I go to bed at like 11:30.
What time do you wake up? Just like 7 o'clock.
Yeah, about quarter to
Yeah.
7. Yeah, quarter to 7, 10 to 7. But then I need like 15 minutes to like wake up. Okay. So morning everyone. Welcome back to another London session live stream. We're here on the 5th of January 2021. So GJ is looking a little bit kind of messy here on the smaller time frames, like on the 30-minute, 15-minute. Seems like the 6:30 candle came up, tried to close above this area, and then the 7 o'clock candle caused us to close back in the range. So it's just kind of ranging. I mean, I think the structure here is, yeah, it's not very good. So probably gonna want to wait to see a break below like 139,900, and then if we see a break below 139,900, or we see, price starting to surpass the high at 140,050, then we can start to say, okay, we're starting to create some form of like market structure. Yeah, see, this 15-minute candle came back in the range. The next one closed bullish below the zone, and now the next one's coming down to fill this range. But obviously the range was never big enough. Yeah, it's only like a 10, 11 pip range. So we're gonna need to let's do a bit of waiting over here. Okay, let's see what's going on with gold over here this morning. Let's do some fresh analysis here on gold. Damn, I'm tired this morning. Okay, so looking at gold, I mean, we're entering this zone here to the left hand side, which is probably where we're seeing some consolidation, but gold can still continue further up. based on the daily time frame. Let's take a look on the 4-hour. So the 4-hour time frame created a support in the Asian session. Seems like gold is just kind of consolidating here, but it did create a support. The current 4-hour is coming up to fill this wick, but at the same time we do have this resistance here as well on the 4-hour time frame. We are closing back above this area, so I think at this point now we can continue further bullish. Look on the 1-hour. Ooh. Looking on the 1-hour time frame, we can see here that we have a resistance. So price is kind of tapping into this resistance here at 1944 right now. Yeah, so it's kind of tapping into this resistance here. It's retracing a little bit. Let's take a look on the 30-minute. So yeah, we had a 30-minute candle come up and it closed above this resistance here from the Asian session high. Or I suppose this is kind of the Asian session high actually, but the most recent one, it's closing above that. But we do have on the 30-minute time frame, we do have a resistance right over here, because we had resistance here to the left, and then this candle at 11 o'clock last night tried to close above this area and then ultimately closed back in the range. So we would need price to break above 1945 for gold to continue on. For sells get a little bit tricky because there's a lot of mess, but we do have support down over here, which doesn't look like a big range, but for gold it's probably going to be something substantial. Yeah, still like 27 pips. And then if it can break further down, we have another area down over here again. It's going to be around another 25 pips. So we'll keep an eye on that.
Morning, everyone.
Morning.
Hey, do you mind taking a look at UJ?
Yeah, sure. Give me 2 secs. Let's do it different. Okay, UJ. So looking on USD JPY, seems like the daily time frame is coming down. Previous daily candle closed bullish. Let's take a look on the 4-hour. Looks bearish market structure on the higher time frames. 4-hour price made a low right over here on the 4-hour time frame, and seems like this 4-hour candle broke the low of this weak support that was created. So much higher chance now that price can continue down to retest this low. Let's take a look on the 1-hour. So yeah, price broke out of this range here in the Asian session. It's coming down now. Seems like this 1-hour candle's done like a liquidity grab because it's broken the high and now it's flipping back bearish. Take a look on the 30-minute. So since you have this candle here came all the way up to break the high of these previous 30-minute candles and closing bearish, I think it's looking like it's going to continue further down. Let's take a look on the 15-minute. Yeah, so on the 15-minute time frame, we have a minor support formed over here. So probably what you're going to want to do is to wait for this minor support to break, and then there's a much higher probability that it can continue down. Seems like it reacted to this zone here to the left hand side. So once you start to see candles closing below this area, then you can expect USD JPY to continue down.
Sure. It's got thrown off by that huge wick.
What the
on the 30-minute? I mean, yeah, it's not a wick on the 15-minute, but when I saw it react to that area, it sort of threw me off.
Yeah, see, more than likely it's gonna make a low somewhere because it's been dropping since 3 a.m. So once it makes a low, it's gonna pull back somewhere, maybe back up into this zone, and then when it establishes some resistance, you can look to retest this low and then a continuation.
Sure.
But it's probably gonna do a little bit of consolidating here and then continue further down. Probably going to be more volume with USD JPY later on around pre-New York. Okay, so yeah, that's USD JPY.
Cheers for that, mate.
That's fine, mate. We looked at gold, GJ. So GJ is coming down to support at the moment. Let's take a look on the 15-minute. Okay, so 15-minute time frame is coming down to support. So we need to wait at this point. I'm not really looking to take any impulse entries or anything like that at the moment. Probably want to wait for, you know, solid confirmations for the first week back. So we'll see how it goes. GP CAD, seems like GP CAD's kind of doing the same thing. So we had, if we take a look on the daily time frame, previous daily candle was bearish, big wick to the downside. Maybe we're going to come down and fill that today. Let's take a look on the 4 hour. So looking at the structure on the 4 hour, see we broke this support. Seems like we've been consolidating here, but kind of doing a retest. Candles are closing weaker bullish within this zone, but we still have a support here to the left. Let's take a look on the 1 hour. Again, if we just remove everything here for a sec. So on the 1 hour time frame, we can see we closed back in this range from the Asian session. We also have a support over here. So once price breaks the support at 1.73200, it can continue down at that point to start retesting this low. Take a look on the 30-minute. Yeah, makes sense. We also have a minor support right over here, and it does seem like price is starting to break down since we're breaking this low over here to potentially continue moving down at that point. Yeah, so since GPK is breaking the low, it's probably going to continue down to the support. But then once we break this support, if we take a look on the 30-minute time frame, we have some, you know, clean candles coming down to this next support here. So this is a nice clean range on GCAD. This is around 40 pip range. It's pretty good. Looks like GJ is trying to break out over here. Let's take a look on the 15-minute. So the 15-minute candle closed at support, but it closed with barely a wick to the bottom. So I'm going to personally wait to see some structure building here. Obviously, the fake out was a good confirmation that we would continue to the bottom of the range, but the range wasn't big enough. So, you know, if the range was like 20, 25 pips, then sells wouldn't make sense. But, you know, the range just wasn't big enough. So gonna need to wait for price to break out.
The 4 hour on GJ looks quite good. How like you've had 2 week bullish and then it kind of broke the low a few minutes ago.
Yep. Something
Maybe now hit down.
Yeah, something that I was looking at. But I was kind of saying, you know, for the first week, probably going to be best to wait for candle closes. I want to ease back into the impulse entries.
Yeah, especially looking on the lower time frames, this doesn't look ideal, does it, right now?
Yeah. Because the price action on the 30-minute was pretty messy. You know, we had a lot of consolidation. We had a fake out in the Asian session. Then we had another fake out of this zone now. And yeah. So if, you know, if this 30-minute candle closes like a strong bearish and we take a look on the 15-minute and, you know, the next one starts to wick up because we may need to start doing some form of retest before leaving this zone, then we can expect, you know, more volume to continue us further down. Let's take a look on the 1 hour. Yeah, just going to wait here for a bit. Okay, just look to Euro NZD, sales look pang. Euro NZD. Yeah, 630, but then this candle came up to break the high, then continue down. Let's take a look in the 15-minute. Yeah, it looks a bit tricky. It looks like the Asian session analysis played out there though for Euro NZD. Okay, let's remove this for a sec. Yeah, Euro NZD on the higher time frame too looks good to continue down since we're breaking this low of the previous daily candle, this previous support. Let's take a look on the 4 hour. Yeah, see, this would have been the around 2 a.m. You could see the structure on the 4 hour to continue down. So we're approaching a support here on the 4 hour time frame. Let's look on the 1 hour. On the 1 hour, we have a support right over here. So it seems like we're kind of at this support level. Once we break this area, then at that point we can continue further down. Let's take a look on the 30 minute. So yeah, so we can see how the 30 minute, is breaking below support, but because this candle had no wick to the bottom, it makes it pretty difficult for price to continue down. So you probably want to see like some resistance formed or something like that on the 15-minute time frame or the 30-minute time frame for price to continue down. So we'll keep an eye on Euro NZD anyway. But actually, if we adjust this zone based on the 30-minute, I'll just do it again. I don't like it when it does that. I like it the smooth tone one, like that. Perfect. So there we go. We're gonna target this zone. It's like a 40 pip range. It's pretty good. Let's go back to GJ here. Yeah, GJ's on its way down. Not much confirmation. Not much confirmation with GJ. The only confirmation there was for sales was the fact that price did a fake out. That was the only confirmation for sales. I suppose on the 4 hour time frame as well, it made sense. See if we got any news here this morning. Okay, some Euro news at 8 a.m. Some USD news later on. See if we got any. Okay, we know about the lockdown. Yeah, okay. So nothing new really. Probably want to see a bit of market structure forming here, maybe on like the 15-minute. Since we're breaking down, price is gonna make some form of low. It's gonna need to pull back. Look at these candles. This is, yeah, it's quite big candles. Probably going to be a little bit of waiting here today, I'm thinking. I think it's going to be a little bit of waiting here today. But patience does pay. Because if you was looking for sales, I mean, like I say, I mean, the only way you could have caught the sales was based on the anticipation. Okay, it was based on the anticipation that since we done a fake out here, that, there's a higher probability now we're going to break the other way. That was the confirmation, but it was a very weak confirmation to go down because we had a support here, and just because it did a fake out doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to continue the other way, because a lot of times it can just consolidate, but there's a higher chance that it's going to break the other way. Yeah, we'll just have to wait. What time frame would you recommend on executing a trade when only trading London session? I mean, it's up to you, of course, but I mean, 15-minute, 30 minutes good. I think it's no different to any other session. It's just it moves in a certain way that you need to, kind of see how it moves, and then you're gonna see where what time frame a lot of the moves happen on. Whether it's you can get entries in on the 15, on the 30, maybe even the 1 hour. But I would just say, yeah, between the 15 and the 1 hour is gonna be the ideal. 5 minute obviously is the most weak confirmation time frame. So I won't recommend. Oh, yawning. I wouldn't recommend the 5 minute for someone maybe who's not experienced, but because even I don't even use the 5 minute that much, only to see where I can reduce risk, but not for taking executions. So yeah, if you want to be more safe, I'd stick to the 30 minute. If you want to be a little bit more ambitious with the entries, maybe 15 minute. If you want to keep it super safe, then go 1 hour. But yeah, they all work differently, so you just gotta find where you're comfortable. Hi, which account is better, without commission or without spread? I would say, I mean, the account that I've got now, I have spread and commission. I know that certain brokers offer, so there's always going to be two types of account. There's either going to be your ECN account or your STP account. So the better one, in my opinion, is going to be the ECN, which is usually where they charge you a commission and a smaller spread. Or there's the STP, where usually they're going to say, oh, no commission, but they're going to charge you a higher spread. So I would personally go with the ECN if it was me. So yeah, looks like GJ is dumping right now. Revisiting that area from yesterday. No worries. What's gold doing over here? Yeah, so kind of just ranging. GP CAD. Yeah, GP CAD coming down to the support now. Take a look at Euro JPY. Euro JPY is still in that same area from yesterday. Seems like it's created a resistance here at 7 a.m. And then once price broke the low to continue down, made sense. Yeah. Euro JPY is still in a massive range on the 4 hour time frame. It's a messy range on the 4 hour. Very messy. GJ is still going. Let's take a look on the 5 minute time frame. Oh yeah, look at this 5 minute candle. Very weak 5 minute candle. Price broke the low. Yeah, continuing down. Still dropping. See, when there's strong candles like this on the 5 minute, there must be some form of pullback or something like that. So we're gonna get some market structure come in quite soon. That's what I'm kind of waiting for, a little bit of market structure. caught GBP sells. Nice work. Yeah, see if the range was this full range here down to 139,800, if we didn't have this support here and this was just a full range and it did the fake out, I would have said, okay, yeah, we can take sells, expecting price to continue down to support. We're in a downtrend overall, so if we're faking out to the upside, then there's a much higher probability we're gonna hit the bottom of support. So I would have been in sells, but the only thing I was skeptical about was, this is a very tight range. If you do candlestick math, it show a bullish hammer on daily. Daily candle closed bearish, mate. Previous daily candle closed bearish. Not sure what pair you're talking about. So looking on the 30-minute time frame, the 30-minute candle has now come to a close. It's broken below 139,800. It's broken below 139,900. It's currently coming down to break the low of the previous 30-minute in a sec. Let's take a look on the 15-minute. So obviously what I want to see is some form of structure building here where we can maybe see a pullback. Some resistance is going to be ideal. Take a look on the 5-minute. Yeah, I do want to see some form of pullback, to be completely honest, but yeah, I'm not sure at this point. Just gotta wait, because we hadn't this candle here. It couldn't break this support, closed above this area. So what we're looking for is, once we break this area, we can continue down to 139,500. Now this range here, is around a 17-18 pip range, so must keep an eye. A really risky entry is going to be once this candle surpasses the low of the previous candle. Now, it's kind of technically selling it at the low, which is why it's a riskier entry. But sometimes with volume, price is just going to continue without pulling back or doing any retest. So it's something that can happen, but there's something I'm not going to be getting into at the moment. I want to wait for some proper market structure and for candles to close. GPJPY. Yeah, the previous daily candle closed bearish, so I'm not sure. Maybe you were with a different, I don't know. Maybe it closed different on your MT5 or something. Okay, we're seeing a nice bit of a retracement here. Oh, nice. We're surpassing this high on the 5-minute in a second. Yeah, since the 15-minute candle is creating some form of top wick, if it does come down and break its own low or the previous low at this point, then there is a high chance that it will just continue moving down and keep on running. But that's not obviously what I want. I want to see this sort of pull back, some resistance formed. So it's pretty good to see it retrace at the moment. Ooh, big retracement. We've got 73 people on it this morning. Perfect. Welcome everybody. If you're new to the stream, welcome. Yeah, see, since the 4-hour time frame broke the low, that would have been, maybe it could have been like an impulse entry based on that idea, based on the 4-hour time frame breaking the low and then coming down to fill these wicks. Yeah, maybe gonna journal that idea. Made sense. Yeah, I think the whole idea made sense. It just didn't like this range. Otherwise, I definitely would have been in sells.
What do you use to journal your trades, H?
Well, to be honest, at the moment, what I'll be doing is just taking a screenshot on the trading view and then just posting it in the breakdowns channel for the group. That's kind of just where I'll be actually posting trades and journaling in there, because then I know where it's at. Everyone else in the group can obviously see it, so I think that's just the easiest place. But for someone like yourself, you may want to use maybe Trello, or you can just actually take a screenshot, you know, do all the writing in here, and then just, you know, pop it in a documents folder and just keep a folder. I mean, yeah, it's completely up to you, but Trello is pretty good.
Yeah, I did download Trello yesterday.
Yeah, Trello's good because you can kind of like write some key points. You can put like green or red if it's a win or loss, and so you can kind of like see visually, you know, how many wins you have in a week, how many losses you have in. So you can kind of see that, but again, yeah, it's completely up to you. Okay, so we see the 5-minute candle came up, closed above this little minor resistance. So we're just gonna have to wait and see what kind of happens over here. Probably gonna, yeah, just waiting. I probably think there's gonna be a little bit of waiting here involved. RV waiting for breakout. The breakouts happen. The breakout has now happened, but we are waiting to see some market structure form so we can look for a trade here. When price breaks a structure, do you wait for a retest or do you execute on the breakout? It kind of depends. Like on this example, you can see like there was no confirmation for the breakout. Obviously there was the fake out, but let's just say, for example's sake, there was no confirmation because, you know, we didn't have a candle closing, you know, just below. It just kind of broke out, right? So this is where you can either, you can get in on the retest, but then you got to see, okay, where's your stop loss going to be? Oh, look at this 15-minute candle. You got to think, okay, where's your stop loss going to be, and stuff like that. So yeah, you can do that. You can take it on the retest, but I don't really like do it like that. If I see a breakout and I'd see, okay, price is like doing a retest right now, which this candle could be the retest candle, I'm not going to want to bank on the fact that it's going to retest and continue. I'm probably going to want to see like a resistance formed here, and then I can say, okay, well, we're creating structure to continue further down, because while the candle's still bullish, and after making this low over here, I don't like the idea of the retest. Let's look on the 1 hour. Yeah, it could make sense. Like, we do need to kind of like react to this area here. But what's going to be better is, because the 1 hour candle is currently bullish, if you think it's got to flip all the way down here to start coming below this area and continuing down. So for that to happen, we take a look on the smaller time frames and we're like, okay, well, this is where we need to start to see some form of structure forming on the smaller time frames, like the 15-minute. Even if we look on the 5-minute now, we can see prices moving up back to this area. So if we look on the 5-minute, even on the 5-minute, you would want to start to see some structure forming, like some resistance forming for price to continue down. But, you know, to be safe, I'm probably going to want to wait to see the 15-minute candle. 15-minute candles close. So we'll see. So gold's just ranging. So GP CAD is coming down to break the low of the previous 30-minute candle and the previous 15-minute candle. So it is an example of an impulse entry. It's a little bit of a riskier impulse entry, but it could work out, so we'll see. Euro JPY. Oh, Euro JPY also retracing back up into the range. Euro NZD. Yeah, just consolidating right now. Yeah, see, the 30-minute closed back up above this range. Kind of did the same thing as yesterday, little fake out. How many pips usually go for? Probably like 10 pips. 10 pips is good. Okay, we got around a minute left for the 15-minute candle to close. So obviously we want it to close below 139.800 is the first thing, because then if we set up a resistance also below this area, then we can expect price to continue down and retest this low. Let's take a look on the 5-minute. Yeah, it's a little bit weak confirmation, so stick to the 15 for a minute. But just starting to look at the 5-minute for structure purposes. Yeah, this could be a break and retest on the 1 hour, but we are reacting to the support here at the moment.
Yeah, maybe if this like next 15 minute can close like near support, then the 30 minute will be a week bullish.
Mm.
Maybe you could get sells on the break and a low.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, so we have a resistance form now on the 5-minute time frame, but gonna stick to the 15. So looking at the 15-minute candle, it's closed bullish. Let's kind of measure this. So I mean, yeah, let's wait to see how the 30-minute candle closes. I was gonna say if the 15-minute closed like a weaker candle than that, and then the next one breaks the low of that 15, then we can continue further down. But it's a little bit of like a half and half sort of candle, you know. So I think it's gonna be better to wait at the minute. But at least it's closing below 139,800, which is good. See, if someone was getting in on the retest, you know, when price was coming up to around 139,800, they would have entered in that sell. You know, yeah, they'd be coming kind of into profits already. And then you would want to maybe keep your stop loss back above 139,900, around 8-9 pips away, because you're expecting, you know, this to be the breakout and for price to continue. But the way that I trade is I would wait for like a candle to close here, or even maybe break this low, but we'll see. Maybe we'll see how the 30-minute candle closes. If this candle forming right now closes bearish, would you enter on that candle? Not necessarily. It depends, because you know, if the next 15-minute candle closes, you know, like too weak, or it closes at a position where it makes it very difficult, then possibly not. But it kind of depends, really. It needs to just kind of happen, and then I know whether it's something that I would execute on. Because technically speaking, like 15-minute candle isn't a confirmation for us to continue down in technical terms. You know, and if this 30-minute breaks its own high, then we could pop right back into the range, and that's it. Like, nothing we can do. Yeah, see the 15-minute candle's coming up. We want it to respect that previous high. Or even what we want to see is another 15-minute candle close bullish, say like this, but a little bit weaker. And then if the next candle can break this low of this 15-minute candle, we can expect that we will continue with momentum. Something, again, we've seen happen before a lot of times. But again, these are all just speculative thoughts. But I'm just obviously going to have to wait what actually prints. But it's nice to see a few people on the stream today. So shout out to everyone coming on the stream today. Appreciate it. Makes it more worth doing when we have more people come on, asking questions, learning. This is what it's all here for. Yeah, see the 15-minute candles coming up a little bit high at this point. So we'll have to see if it will surpass the high of the previous 15 minute, because if it does, then it may just come right back into this range. Maybe it's coming up to do a retest of 139.900. How long are you doing this live sessions? I got to know from last week from a suggestion. These live streams will be on till, I reckon, another 2 hours, maybe hour and 45 minutes, roughly. Yeah, we go to around, it's kind of anywhere between 10 and 11, and it kind of depends like what's kind of happened. If I've already taken a trade, then yeah, I'll just call it a day at that point. But if I haven't, then I may see how we're setting up at pre-New York, because sometimes there's going to be things that happen around pre-New York. We know that. I've taken a few trades around that time. So yeah, it just kind of depends, really. Just kind of depends. But most of the time we're here from 7:30 to around 10:30.
I'm gonna have to hop off for a meeting, gents, but I'll be listening on the YouTube anyway.
Yeah, no worries, mate.
Take it easy, guys.
Yeah, have a good day, mate. See you later.
You too.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. So yeah, like I said, I think there's gonna be a bit of waiting involved here today. Yeah, see now the 30 minutes broken its own high. The 15 minute has broken the high of the previous 15-minute candle. So it may come back up into this area here. So there's no sells at the moment. There's no sells. There's no buys either. So yeah, just gonna have to wait for something to form. It looks a bit better. Probably just see how stick to the 30 minute now for the minute. See how it closes. Yeah, see GP CAD also coming back up in the range now after breaking this low. Gold's still consolidating. Gold is still consolidating. Yeah, it looks like a little bit of a messy day here for GJ, if I must say. But anyway, guys, well, we've got a few people here. I thought I'd just remind everybody. So there is only 5 days left for the current reduced price of the mentorship. Obviously, like, you know, for those of you who not interested, that's perfectly fine, because this is what the live streams are for. This is what all the free stuff on YouTube's for, the free webinars on YouTube. So yeah, like, there's plenty of free stuff to get by. Don't worry. But if you're looking to, you know, level up or actually come on and trade live with me and the rest of the group, then yeah, mentorship is the way to go. But yeah, it's gonna be going. The price is gonna be going up on the 10th of January. That's because the new course will be coming out that I've put together, as well as, you know, a lot more extra things being implemented, although there's tons of stuff already. But that's exactly why we're going to be putting it up. But yeah, I just thought I'd let everybody know. So the 4 hours got an hour and a half left. Yeah, it'd be really nice if this 15-minute candle retraces after doing this retest and starts to close below this area, because then we can start to see a little bit of structure forming here. It's gonna be pretty good. Let's take a look on the 5 minute. Oh yeah, look, see on the 5 minute, this looks like a retest. This was the retest, but I don't know yet. Let's wait. think there's gonna be some weighing involved here today. Coming up to 8:30. Okay, we've got 3 minutes left for this candle to close. That'll also be the 30-minute candle closing as well. Yeah, see, if this 15-minute candle closes very weak and the next one wicks up a bit and then breaks the low, then we could anticipate more volume to push price further down, breaking this low and then continue moving down to 139.500. Something I've seen happen to a lot of times. So we're going to be looking at that. So yeah, if this 15-minute candle closes nice and weak bullish and the next one breaks the low, but it's going to be a little bit of a yeah, we need it to wick up a little bit first and then break the low, not straight away. 30-minute candle. Yeah, it seems like it was a retest on the 1 hour, 30-minute, 15-minute. Yeah, it does seem like a retest here. But I won't obviously need to wait for this 15-minute candle to close. We've got a minute left here. Is this HFX? Yes, this is HFX. Not the binary options thing. I go by the name of HFX. What broker do I use? I use Vantage FX. Okay, looks like the candle's closing nice. Very nice here in this last minute. Yeah, nice. So if we get if this 15-minute candle closes below 139.800 and the next one breaks the low, then it could be a nice impulse to continue down. So it's not the call put. No, that's options. No, we don't do that here. I recognize your voice. Did you show up on Paul's Asian streams in the past? Yes, I used to be on Paul's Asian streams, but I don't trade the Asian session anymore. Okay, yeah, nice. The 15-minute candle is closing pretty good over here. 10 seconds. 30 minutes closing bullish. Okay, see, the 15-minute candle now has closed a weak bullish candle. So if the next candle can wick up first, because I would want to see it make some form of top wick, because that's going to be the area where, you know, we need to place stops. So it's going to be a little bit more of a riskier entry because of the, you know, it's an impulse entry. But we would be expecting price, once we break this 15-minute low, to continue down, breaking the overall low and then continue moving down to 139.500 is going to be the idea there. So probably going to use a smaller lot on this trade if it does do what we're anticipating it to do, because it may not. It may just come up and fill the wick. Seen that happen a lot of times too. But if it breaks the low of the previous 15-minute, then I think we're going to be executing a sell position here today. Okay, so it has made a little bit of a top wick, but we needed to break the low of the previous candle. And if it doesn't break the low, then that's it. There's no sales. Until maybe we at least see a candle close back in our direction, but okay, good luck, mate. Good to see new blood in the industry. All the best. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much. Appreciate that, mate. So here we go. It's coming down. Is it going to break the low of the previous 15-minute candle now? But we really need it to break the low. It's coming down. So it's going to be a bit of an aggressive entry, which is why I'm using less risk. But we would be expecting price to continue down at that point. There we go. So executed the sell position. Stop loss is going to be kept above the current candle because we are expecting now volume to continue price down to 139.500. So there we go. You know, so now we're expecting the volume to continue us going bearish. How far down? Well, the target is obviously going to be 139.500 is the like ultimate target here, because since we're creating this structure, we're expecting with volume price to continue moving down. And since we've got the structure and we're breaking the 15-minute low, we're expecting this low to break. So if that doesn't happen and we just start consolidating, or I think that price is reacting to this area, then that's where I'm going to reduce the risk at that point. But we're expecting this low to break, because if we look on the 30-minute, if this 30-minute candle breaks the low of the previous 30-minute, then we also can continue down. So it's almost like an extra confirmation while being up into 9 pips profit. So
it's the exact same what we saw on the 4 hour, isn't it?
Yeah, very similar market structure. Yeah, I think this would be a really nice trade here if this plays out. Seems like we did a retest. We had a weak bullish close, broken the low. I think GJ is going to continue down to 139.500. Even if we look on the 4 hour now, 4 hour looks like it's going to be on its way to continue down to this daily support. 1 hour is flipping bearish as well in the last 24 minutes. So imagine if the 1 hour candle closes below this area too. You know, we can at that point start to bring stops tighter, and I think we'll have a very nice trade here today. Yeah, this is a good setup. I've taken this trade before, seen this happen a lot of times. So, you know, if it doesn't play out, it's just, yeah, probability aspect. But it does seem like we're pushing into some profits here, which is pretty good. If you look on the 30 minute also looks like it's creating structure. Yeah, this is looking good. I think as long as we break this 30-minute low, then we're going to continue moving down. Yeah, we've got to give it the 7 minutes here to play out, because we're expecting it to break this low. You know, we're not expecting it to start to consolidate. So we are expecting it to just continue dropping. What we want is it to break the previous 30-minute low. And then at that point, we're like, okay, now we're probably going to, you know, expect it to continue at that point further. So it's like a confirmation while being already in the trade. There we go. Come on, GJ. GJ. Okay, we're pushing about 6 pips at the moment, 5-6 pips. Okay, so we're starting to come below this area now, which is pretty good. Starting to push here into some nice profits. 7-8 pips here. Okay, let's take a look on the 30 minute. 30 minute is about to surpass the low of the previous 30-minute candle. So I think this trade is looking very good at this point. And I think there's a very high chance we're going to continue moving down to 139.500 here today. Come on, GJ, give us a little bit more here today. Nice strong 15-minute candle. So at least we want the 15-minute candle to close below this support, and then, you know, we can just keep the trade open at that point. But now we're pushing into profits, so we can easily manage this trade. We've got to wait for my 10 pips. Last 5 minutes can easily make the push. 5-minute candles closing below. 50-minute candle. 30-minute. Yeah, all coming below now. So I think it's pretty good to continue down. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. So at worst way, people should be pushing into profits. So, you know, at this point, when you're in profits, you know, you have a real good opportunity to start to think how you can manage the trade so that you don't lose what you originally planned to lose. So still got to wait because we haven't quite hit 10 pips. It was up around 9, but it's kind of floating. But I'm still going to wait here. We know what GJ is capable of in the last few minutes of any candle. So we've surpassed the low on the 30 minutes, so I think it should continue down now. The 30 minutes still got like 19 minutes left. So what we would want is the 15-minute candle to close below this area, and then it would be pretty good to continue down. Take a look on the 5-minute here. Yeah, see, if this 5-minute candle breaks the high of the previous 5-minute candle is probably the point I might close 50% while we're in a bit of a profit here, because it seems to be pulling back to my entry. So yeah, I think this is where I'm going to close 50%. Yeah, see, I closed 50% right over here since we're pulling right back to my entry point, just to be safe, because we came all the way down into profits. We was up around, yeah, 9 pips there with spread. And now we're pulling back. So I closed 50% back at my entry point. Going to be cautious here, because since the 30-minute broke the low, and now look at this retracement on the 30-minute. You know, this is not what we want to see, because when the 30-minute breaks the low, we're expecting it to continue further down. So if the 15-minute candle closes bearish, right, then, you know, potentially the next one is also going to break this low. But just had to be a little bit cautious there, since we came right up into nearly securing and then it pulls all the way back. Yeah, not something I like to do.
Just seems like it's tapped into like the 4-hour support. It's having a bit of trouble there, maybe.
Yeah. So I feel better now, taking half of the risk off the trade, and now I'm just gonna let the rest run. You know, there's always a point where we can, you know, add a position, but when you see a 5-minute candle like that, you know, you do want to be cautious. But since it broke the high and now it's flipping, it's probably gonna continue, which would be obviously nice. But just so happened that it did this liquidity grab in the last few minutes. But since I've closed 50%, you know, I could see if I can let the full position run down to 139.500. Oh yeah, see, it's coming right back down again after closing 50%. But you do have to be cautious, because, you know, a lot of times if that's going to happen, a lot of times it can come back and then continue the other way, and then you're like, man, I wish I closed, you know, some positions at like break even. So yeah, we'll see how it gets on. Yeah, when you see a 30-minute candle break the low like this and then retrace all the way up, it's not good. It's not technically supposed to do that, you know, because when it breaks a low, you're expecting it to continue. But we're back in profits here now, so that's fine. Back in profits. Would you add another after breaking the 30-minute candle? No, I wouldn't. My entry's up over here, stop loss over here, so I'm just expecting it to continue here. I've got a good entry, and then yeah, no, I'm not gonna add any positions at this point. 10 pips, I'm out. Nice though. Yeah, nice. It didn't quite get 10 pips for me, that's why I didn't secure, but it's fine. It came back to my entry. I closed small amount of the position, a little bit of profit, just to secure that we didn't start running in drawdown after going, you know, nearly 10 pips. So if we look at the 15-minute candle now, the 15-minute candle has closed below 139.675. So as long as the next one can break the low of this 15-minute candle, we can continue down to 139.500, and then the overall 30-minute should also continue moving down to 139.500. So yeah, just gonna hold positions here with the remaining 50% and see how we get on. Do you set stop loss to even at this stage? Not yet. If I was to secure profits at 10 pips and I wanted to leave a runner, that's the point at which I go break even. But like right now, you know, I've closed 50% since we came back to the entry, and now I'm just gonna let the rest run. We're gonna break this low over here. We're now up about 9.5 pips again. So once we start pushing, once we hit around 139.600, something like that, probably gonna secure profits then at that point. Oh, we got 87 people here now. It's a new record. Fantastic. Thank you to everyone coming on the stream. Obviously, I know some people might not have reduced their risk, but that's what I do. That's my plan. So obviously, stick to your plan. It's perfectly fine. But it's nice. It's going to be nice to get 2 wins here to start the year. That's going to be fantastic.
So that back testing's paying off.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, back testing. Just experience too, you know. Like, I really reflected on everything that happened in 2020. And, you know, when you take a step back and you look at all the trades, all the mistakes, you learn a lot. You learn a lot. You know, you have to look at everything. You have to look at all the mistakes that you made, all the moves that you missed, and then you start to recognize patterns. Here we go. So we've broken the low of the previous 15-minute candle. So hopefully now we should start continuing down. I'm literally just floating at around 8-9 pips. It's almost like annoying because it's saying to me, oh, you're nearly there. But hey, we're starting to get there now. I think GJ is going to continue down to 139.500 at this point. Just holding a little bit longer. I think at this point I'm going to bring stops to break even now. So we have a risk-free 50% trade running. Ooh, lovely here. Very nice. There we go. I'm just going to... Do you know what? I'm just going to close out at this point. I closed positions. Oh, just as I do that. That is GJ, man, for you. There you go. So there we go. Second win for the week. Perfect.
You can't complain. It's a Tuesday as well, isn't it?
Yeah, amazing.
Mondays and Tuesdays.
I think if people are holding, I think 139.500 is going to be perfect. I literally just said to myself, hold to 139.500 just to see how it goes. But then actually, I saw I had 10 pips. I was like, you know what? Just secure the bag, man. It's going to be the second win for the week. So there we go. Awesome. So if you caught this trade, if you caught this win, drop a like on the stream. Drop a W in the chat. Love to hear how many people caught this trade. It's perfect. Second win of the week here. We waited patiently. We waited for the breakout. We waited for the retest. We waited. I spoke about this candle closing weak bullish. The next one can break the low. I spoke about keeping the stops above the current candle, expecting this low to break. The low broke. Everything happened. Perfect. Awesome. And we had our record here today. We had 92 people on, so can't complain. Fantastic. Well, hey, Kenneth got his first win this year. Congratulations, Kenneth. 2021's your year, mate. So there we go. From the entry point, you should be well into profits now, around 15, 16 pips. It's perfect. Yeah, momentum's starting to kick in now. Obviously, it's frustrating that it pulled back to my entry, but I had to be safe. And plus, I did say to myself this week, I was going to make sure I was on it with the risk management to start the week. I told myself I was going to be on it with securing profits. I said to myself I was going to be on it with taking good trades, good logical trades. So here we are, second day in, and we're smashing it. So just got to keep the momentum going and keep that discipline going. So there we go. Perfect. Yeah, guys, please, if you caught this trade, drop a like on the stream, man. Drop a like on the stream. It's the second win here this week. So if you started watching us since 2021, you should already be in profit. So, yeah, fantastic. Yeah. So I got around... So once I closed 50%, I got around £170 profit on that trade. So I used a less risk trade because it was obviously a more of aggressive, right? Because we had to use the current candle with a stop loss. So I was always going to use less risk. So I used a 4 lot instead of a 5 lot, which meant that the overall risk was going to be, so the overall risk was going to be around 300 and something. And then the original, you know, take profit would have been around, you know, 380, 400 pound. But of course, you know, closed 50% when we came back to my entry. So I wanted to secure around 200, which would be 10 pips. But I got out around 170, 180. But looks like price should continue down now to 139, 500. Yeah, awesome. I need to get that thing that Raja's got when it hits target. It's like, it's like a,
oh yeah,
I have to get something different, obviously, not the same thing.
Mhm.
But I think that'd be kind of cool to, every time we hit target, we ring a little bell or something. But there we go. Still pleased. Secured the profit, secured the bag, got in and out. People in the stream caught this trade, so yeah, can't complain. Get a foghorn. Yeah, get a foghorn. Yeah, man, look at that. Perfect. 1 hour time frame. Yeah, it was a break and retest on the 1 hour for sure. 4 hour did exactly what we said. Exactly what Kelsey pointed out here on the 4 hour structure. Did it over here, and then we executed on that same idea on the 15-minute time frame. Got 6 pips as my runner, got stopped at BE, but it's okay. Yeah, it's fine, man. Profit is profit. You know, that's it. There we go. We should reach target now. 139,500 is on its way. And we had a record number of people here this week. We had 92 people at one point.
maybe get 100 this week.
We are all disciples of Raja. Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, that'd be nice to break 100 people on the stream. That would be really nice. Literally 3 more pips and the target is reached. Still got 5 minutes in this candle too. So I'm going to wait for this candle, and then I need to go make a drink and some food after this. Do you think momentum could break this level? If it does, left is super clean. Yeah, potentially. Potentially it could. Seems like it's retracing now though. Maybe something on the 5 minute. Yeah, it's kind of hit a level. Let's look left. That's the 5 minute. Oh yeah, it seems like it's retracing. Oh, maybe it's hit like an area here on the 15-minute time frame. I'm not sure, but either way, we got close to target. I think the next, sometime it's gonna do that, and then the next candle is also gonna continue down. You know, that's just, yeah, it's just how GJ works. But yeah, I think it could. I think it could break this level. But obviously, yeah. See, yeah, you're right. Once we break 139,500, GJ is off. Because then we would have, I would say, just to be a little bit more conservative, I would look at this zone. Just because this was a strong area. Obviously, you can target this support here, but I think this low is going to be better to target. But yeah, I think it could. I think it could. But probably with the new 4 hour. Because the 4 hours now broke 1, 2 supports. It's come down to the 3rd support. Now it's retracing. So usually that means it's going to want the next 4 hour candle to do something. You know, remember, like, it's like all time frames move the same. In fact, looking at the 1 hour structure, once this 1 hour close, I think the next 1 hour candle is going to be the candle to reach our target here. Because we see this happen a lot where we get the breakout, the next one does the retest, and then it closes like this with a wick to the downside. And then the next candle is going to come down and it's going to fill this wick and it's going to fill this range. That's usually what's going to happen. Yeah, my aim for like January as a whole is to really just focus on like taking good trades so that my probability and win rate is going to be high, and focus on like, I'm not going to say not losing, but losing, focusing on like trying not to take losses and trying not to lose. So when I saw it retrace, I knew straight away I was going to reduce my risk, right? I knew that straight away. So as soon as I see price pushing so far into profit and then retrace into my entry, I'm always going to be making sure, okay, let's take some risk off just to be safe and secure. But yeah, I think it's going to be the next 1 hour candle that's going to continue down. I see this structure happen a lot of times. But yeah, either way, I need to go make a nice drink. Just quickly before I do that, let's check out what the other pairs are doing. So gold is just still consolidating. So gold is just garbage. We didn't really look at the FTSE today. GP CAD. Oh yeah. So if we look at GP CAD, so let's say the first impulse entry was right over here because you was expecting price to continue moving down. So it broke the low and then it retraced to close back above this area. See, that's the point at which I'd definitely be reducing risk. And then if you let the rest run, then obviously it would have continued into profit. But let's take a look on the 15-minute. So looking on the 15-minute time frame, I mean, it's pretty hard to take sells. Maybe down over here would have made sense. But at the same time, once this 15-minute candle closed like this, I see this kind of 15-minute structure happen a lot, and there's no confirmation for sells. But I think if you've seen this structure happen, like maybe 10, 15 times, you could anticipate that it's going to continue down because of this 15-minute candle. It's almost like a retest candle on the 15, and then the next one just immediately continues. So yeah, they're pretty hard to like catch, but when I see that structure, there's a very high chance it just continues. But it's one of those hard confirmation trades. Looking at EJ, EJ is just dreadful. Came all the way up, broke all of these highs, and then came back. Yeah, just messy, super messy. Euro NZD. Well, Euro NZD did a fake out, and now it's just consolidating here. So I think for Euro NZD, it may do what it did yesterday, which is where it did a fake out, established support, and then continued moving bullish. But then later on in the Asian session, it corrected it. So maybe it's going to do the same thing, like retrace to maybe like 1.70550, somewhere over here. And then it's going to, later on in the day retrace and then continue down. Because the higher time frames on Euro NZD look like they're going to continue further bearish. But we don't know yet. We don't know. Oh, is that target reached? The 30-minute came to a close. Oh, that 15-minute candle did come right down. Oh, we're literally like half a pip away from target. It hit 139.512. There we go. So we was 1.2 pips off, but still better than nothing. Okay, awesome. Right, I'm gonna go make a drink. I need a drink, so I'll be back in around 5 minutes, 10 minutes time. So I appreciate it. Right, I'll be back in like 5-10 minutes, guys. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that, guys. Just had to make a little bit of food. Oh, starving. Okay. GPJPY. Yeah. Very nice. Nice trade there today. I think we're going to call it a little bit earlier here today. Maybe probably around 10 o'clock. Something like that. We've had our trade here. Yeah. Okay. Let's break down. Let's see what other pairs are doing. Let's look at gold. Looks like gold is attempting to break to the upside here. Seems like it wants to break above this resistance here. I think if it successfully closes above this area in the next 2 minutes, that it can continue moving bullish. Just take a look at the 1 hour. Yeah. See, if you look at it from a 1 hour perspective, the 1 hour, the 8 a.m. 1 hour candle closed above this rejection zone. So it did kind of pave way for the next 1 hour candle to also continue moving up to retest this high. Made sense. 4 hour. Yeah, see 4 hours still trying to continue bullish. So yeah, see how gold closes here. Looks like gold's pushing. So gold's breaking up. GP CAD made a low over here. It's now retracing. Euro JPY just ranging. Euro NZD. Ooh, look at Euro NZD. Just pure consolidation. Very messy here from Euro NZD. Okay, so the 30-minute candle's coming to a close on gold here. For gold, it's best to wait for volume, otherwise you might get stuck in a range around support. Yeah, there's volume now since we're breaking this. Ooh, coming back in the range in the last few seconds here. Yeah, see, if gold can close above this resistance, then we know there's volume because there's enough volume to break. Yeah, see, the 30-minute, it closed below this resistance. Now, at the same time, we're still creating like a support over here. Right, we're still creating structure, we're still creating support, so more than likely there's going to be a little bit more consolidation, and then no name works probably is right that with a little, maybe a little bit later on around pre-New York we could get some more volume. But let's take a look on the smaller time frames. Yeah, see, even on the 15 minute reacted to this area, but it's gold, so gold can just continue, you know, there's no reason to say why it couldn't, but it may just do that. So trades here today, we had GJ sells. GJ. $10 pips. Lovely.
H, what do you think about USD JPY now?
Let me take a look.
It seems to have like closed below a support on the 30-minute.
Mm-hmm.
It's only like 10 pips to ride it down to the bottom, but
Yeah,
not
see,
sure.
I think the sell was right over here. So if we look at the structure, so we had support formed on the 30-minute, right? So we established there that price made a low. So then we had a 30-minute candle come down and it closed below this support. So at that point you could say, okay, well, I'm expecting price at this point to continue down. So let's say you even took sells over here, right? I mean, I know the next candle came up, but let's say so even if you was in sells or you waited for sells, this structure here was the structure for sells. So personally, if I was gonna execute on anything, it would have been probably the break of this low right over here. That would have been my execution point, because we had a candle come down, close below support. The next one wicked up into this area and then also closed below this area. So then when the next candle came down to break this low, there was a higher probability that we would continue down. So that would have been the sell for me. Let me just take a look on the 15-minute, see if we have any more information. So yeah, see, the 15-minute time frame is a little bit messy, but essentially if you look at the structure here, we were creating like a resistance, but I think if you stuck to the 30-minute, it made way more sense because we had a low created. So when this candle closed bullish, you might say, okay, well, I'm expecting a pullback, but then it doesn't because the next candle comes down. Now, even if you did execute the sells here, I know you would have sat in a bit of drawdown and whatnot. Hold on, let me see. So this candle was the 8:30. This was the 8 a.m. candle. This was the 8:30 candle. So this would have been the 8:15 15-minute candle. So yeah, so the next 15-minute candle obviously went bullish, but you didn't really have much area to reduce risk, I suppose. But yeah, I think the 30-minute was where the trade was. The sell was right over here. This would have been the best place to take the sell. But I'm just obviously thinking, because once it broke this support, obviously that's the point at which you would look for sells. But still, once you wait for this candle to close, that would have been your sell opportunity. But here, I think it could work. I mean, if it breaks the low of the previous 15-minute, you could say, okay, well, now I'm going to expect it to continue to the bottom of this range. It could work. But you'd want to see it respect this high, obviously. And then while you're waiting for it to break the low is because now this 15-minute candle has created its top wick. So then even if you wanted to take the sell here, right, because I know it's not technically where the sell should have been executed, but let's say you did want to, because it's all about what you want to do, right? And I can still say to you, okay, well, look, even if you do take the sell here, what's your condition? Well, once it starts breaking this low, it should push down, right? And then you can use the current candle high as a point to say, okay, well, if it comes up to break its own high, then the trade is probably not valid at that point once we start breaking the low. But you would want to keep the stop maybe above the previous 15-minute candle to start with. So your risk would be around 6 pips for a potential 10 pip gain, right? So let's say it pushes around 3 or 4 pips into profit, but then reverses or breaks its own high. You could get out of the trade with, like a 3 pip loss.
Minus 3 pips, yeah.
3-4 pip loss, which isn't so bad in terms of a loss. That's not bad at all. So, but that's what I'm saying, maybe wait for this candle to break the previous low, because then you would expect once we break the low that it would continue down, because the new 30-minute candle is also open. It's now creating a top wick. So obviously you could sell even if you sold on the this previous 15-minute candle. If this one goes bullish, then you would reduce risk. But if this candle goes bullish but never breaks the low, you never entered. So then you'd be like, okay, well, if the next one breaks the low, then I would enter, because then you would expect more volume to continue price coming down. And on the 15-minute time frame, there's just clean traffic to the left. So
yeah.
But yeah, I think if you want to look back, this would have been your sell opportunity right here. This is where I would have been in sells, because then you had
I kind of missed it. I was more looking at the 15-minute, and I didn't really spot the structure as easily as you have. So, and then
Yeah.
when I flipped it back over to the 30-minute, I was like,
It
okay,
made
cool. It was a bit
sense.
clearer
Yeah.
to see. Yeah.
Yeah. It just
But by that
happened
point, the
once.
time it's gone. Yeah. So I was just thinking like whether or not, because I know like on every time frame I'm looking, it's like it's bearish, and
Mhm.
obviously I'm looking at the 4 hour. But I don't know. I'm just, my other concern was I feel like it's already moved a lot. So I
Yeah.
don't know whether or not it will continue to fill that range or.
Yeah, I'd say like, okay, so I mean it's fell a lot. You're correct. That's why I was saying it's probably gonna make a low at some point, which it did. So when I see price make a low, I'm like, okay, now we're gonna wait for a retracement. But when there's a low created and you still get candles coming to break those lows, that suggests that there is more volume to continue, you know, because we wouldn't be breaking a low if so. I mean, so you see how we was in a downtrend here, right? And then we made a low. It was evident it was a low because we bounced off of it, you know. But when we make a low like here, or we make a high like this, but then we have a candle continuing in that direction, that means there's a lot of volume. So you see here, look, price pushed up, all these candles bullish. You get one bearish candle, people think, oh, there's going to be a pullback, but the next one continues in that direction, and actually you see that suggests there's going to be more volume, and you can see that because the next candle went bullish. Similar thing here, because you had a candle close bullish, so now you start to think there's a low been created, and now you get another candle that's come down to break that. Now you're expecting volume to continue that situation. So even if you entered here and then you reduced your risk because the next candle closed bullish, I would be like, okay, well, I know as soon as it breaks this low, I'm adding a position. That's what I would say.
Get it.
But I would also would say, because I just had a look at the 1 hour. If you look at the 1 hour, the 1 hour also created a resistance. So if I just clear this, so if you think like price came down, it made a low over here. So now you're expecting price to respect this support and retrace, but then it doesn't. When I look at it now, I remove this and I look at it like this. Now we've created resistance here for price to continue down. You know, like when price is moving bullish, like, you know, his price is coming up. Whenever we retrace, I'm like, okay, well, now that we've created support, I can now put this area as support, because I'm expecting that since we've created like a platform, I kind of view it a little bit like a platform. You know, price is creating a platform here to continue. So once price came down, it retraced to create this platform here to continue further down. So the sells even could have been taken based off the 1 hour time frame right over here, and then you could have just rid it based on the 1 hour time frame, you know. So you could have said, okay, the higher time frames are looking stronger. I know that USD/JPY is probably not gonna be so clean on the smaller time frame, so I may base my trade off the 1 hour, because then I would have had a 5, 6, maybe if you wanted to be a bit more conservative, 8 pip stop, and then already, you know, you would have got your 10 pips. And then you scale in on the 30-minute, and then you would have waited for this candle to close, and then you can see on the 30-minute, okay, well, actually I can actually get an entry right over here, and, you know, and then I would have a 0 drawdown trade. And then as this candle is pushing into profits, you bring your stop loss above the current candle, which is what, 3 pips. So now your risk is like, it's so minimal. So yeah, but I would say, judging by this 15-minute, it's got like 4 minutes left. It's currently bullish, so even if it closes bullish, like, again, you know, it could retrace, or is it gonna create some resistance or break the low to continue? But I'll come back to it.
Just to wait and see. Yeah.
Let me know what
buddy.
happens. Yeah, no worries, mate. No worries. So it's like GJ is retracing. Can remove this now. 30-minute. Plus, I think the US dollar is pretty weak at the moment too, so it's probably why you're seeing these big drops in USD/JPY.
Yeah,
daily looks like it could definitely come down and fill this wick. It's on its way.
Yeah, it's just moves so slow, this pair.
It just kind of does that. Yeah, it just kind of does that. Yeah, we'll see. See how this 15-minute candle closes. Because even if it does retrace, it's still not. That's not a bad thing, you know. Because once it retraces, it's actually a better point to get an entry. Because then it's already made a low.
Yeah. Would you wait for a? So say it retraces and then closes. Would you wait for the break of the low then to enter?
What so you're saying if this candle closes bullish and then we retrace
Yeah.
back to this area?
Yeah.
So if it retraces back, I would wait for like a resistance. So whether it be a 30-minute or a 15-minute, I would just say like, okay, let's go to a 30-minute here. Yeah, I'd say this area needs to be respected. So if it retraces and it starts to create some resistance around 102.880, that's the point at which you'd say, okay, well, we're creating structure to still continue down at that point. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. But there you go. You'll be doing up 10 lots by the end of the year, mate. Yeah, hopefully. Hopefully sooner. I mean, I think I could get up to 10 lots by, I reckon by maybe summer. Summer, I think, is going to be a good target. If price bounces off the 0.8 level, it will be the exact same thing as yesterday. On GPJPY. Can't remember what happened yesterday. No, that was December. What was yesterday? Yesterday was the 4th, right? Yeah, this was just. Yeah, see, yeah. So it could retrace and do that same structure again. Yeah, that's true. So then again, like you'd want to wait for like a resistance, which was over here, and then for price to continue down. Will the pound go weak because of this new lockdown? I mean, the pound is weak right now. You know, you can see that because we've been falling since Monday, yesterday. So the pound is weak because of that. It's evident. So it's moved around 130 pips. But I mean, yeah, it could be to do with the restrictions. I personally think it is, but the only thing that I can't get my head around is why the market would be worried about it now, considering, you know, we've basically been in this, say what you will, but we've basically been in lockdown this whole year. Like 2020 was basically all in lockdown since March, you know. Like, yeah, it was tiered systems or whatever, but, you know, you didn't have your freedom, so it was pretty much a lockdown the whole time, whether they said it indirectly or not directly, which does make you wonder, you know, all these months in lockdown and tiered systems, yet the virus is out of control. It makes no sense if it's supposed to work, but I don't know. There you go. But yeah, I was a bit disappointed to hear that the new year of 2021 would be off to a bad start with a lockdown now lasts until February. So, I mean, Jesus Christ. We're gonna be like granddad, still like locked up in our houses. But there you go. GU is strong. GU is too strong. I don't look at GU. Let's take a look at GU actually. Let's see if GU's similar market. I think it should be similar market structure because US dollar. Okay, so if you think about it, the reason. Okay, so Eagle Forex Trade. See, the thing is, obviously, I know you're saying that no name works is wrong, but actually, there's a difference because you are talking about GU. And GU is different because this is the pound, right, compared to the US dollar. So we already know the US dollar is weak, which would mean if the US dollar's weak and GBP's weak, then there's not going to be the same as, let's say, GJ, because we know that GBP is weak and clearly the yen is strong because price is moving bearish. If we go to GU, I went to the wrong chart there. If we go back to GU, today's session, we can see that it's not really done much. Okay, yeah, maybe it pushed down a little bit, but the reason why, let's say, GU isn't selling off in the same light is because the US dollar has its own version of value or strength in that sense, right? Because it's against the US dollar. So just because let's say, like, out of all the GBP pairs, you could have GJ, GCAD, GBP, NZD all moving massive bearish moves, but GU might not, but that's because you got to remember that it's valued against the US dollar. So if the US dollar is strong at that point, then it's going to have a less of effect. And when we're looking at GJ, right, we know that this pair is just influenced by the pound at this time. So we know that GBP is weak because JPY is closed. So we know that GBP is weak today because this pair is solely influenced by the pound. When we go to GU, we can't say that because we know that both the GBP and USD markets are open, right? I know obviously USD markets volume will start to come in about an hour's time, but in theory the USD markets are still open. So in that sense, and you have to remember, the USD is the most traded currency. It's worth, if you've gone to Baby Pips, you'll see it's 80% of world transactions. So USD is a round the clock meter, right? If you look at gold is a good example. Gold will just move whenever it wants, but obviously its high volume times is going to be during the New York session. So that's not necessarily true, but you're here to be you're here to be educated, right? So that's all you need to think about, is you got to remember that just because GJ is dropping, yes, that suggests the pound is weak because that's solely influenced by the pound. But if GU is not dropping, that doesn't mean the pound's not weak. That just means that the pound still could be weak, but that maybe suggests that the USD is not strong enough for it to trend, or the USD is strong. The USD is also weak, so the pair's not going to go anywhere, because if both currencies are weak, it's just going to consolidate. Same like if both pairs are strong, it could also consolidate because it's influenced by both pairs. But we know if GBP is strong, GJ is going to run in is going to have a bull run. If GBP is weak, we know GJ is going to have a bearish run because it's solely influenced by the pound at this time. Lockdown 20, you're not allowed to breathe. Yeah, probably. Yeah, man, it's crazy times. It just makes me laugh because I literally saw him last week giving it, oh yeah, let's put this all behind us in 2020. 2021 is going to be a new year, fresh year. And then a week later, oh, I'm sorry, back into lockdown. Man,
literally first Monday of the week.
Yeah.
Of the year.
Yeah, it's crazy though, man. What do you think about the lockdown, Ibs?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's necessary.
Yeah.
But I feel like, we probably should have been a bit more stricter and acted a bit sooner, a bit earlier on, and then probably wouldn't have to be where we are today,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, at the beginning, I think, obviously, I don't agree with the lockdowns, but at the beginning I did, because obviously, you were told, the only way to control this virus is to, stop human contact and stuff. And it's a little bit frustrating for all of us, I think, that despite being in lockdown for a very long time, like some other countries had 2-3 weeks, and they're living it up now. So it makes no sense, really, does it? But I don't know. I
think we acted a bit different. I think everywhere else closed the borders, and we still had our airports open. We weren't really checking people. I think Boris was even on TV. Didn't he say I went to hospital and I shook hands with everybody, and it's just like,
Yeah.
dude,
Yeah, no, but exactly that. Like it's just. I think the reason we are where we are is because, I mean, I think we have people in office that clearly
yeah,
have no logic. You know, you want to lock down a country because you don't want a virus to spread, but you let in nearly 10,000 people a day.
yeah,
I mean,
it's a
I
joke.
don't know what the thinking was going on there, but see, people will defend them and be like, "Oh yeah, but they didn't know the pandemic." I'm like, "Yeah, but let me just tell you one thing. It doesn't take a genius to work out that if you put everybody into lockdown, that means no one's coming in and no one's
Yeah,
going out. That doesn't mean, yeah, everyone else has got to stay indoors. But if you want to
yeah,
come here on a little tourism trip, bring the virus over. We're more
yeah,
than
yeah.
welcome."
This is what didn't make sense to me, but
uh, you know, the other thing
it's been.
the other thing I disagree with as well is that I find it a little bit insulting, really. I know everyone loves their football, and I'm not here to discredit footballers or whatever, but
How they can continue?
how can they continue, right? You see them high-fiving, spitting, hugging.
Yeah,
They say they're in social bubbles. Oh man, come on, they're
yeah, I
footballers.
know.
They're footballers. What do you think they're doing at the weekend in their
Yeah,
evenings? They're having all their mates round. They're living their lives free
hundred
as
percent.
anything. But that's only because they're just, they're whingers, and the
Hmm.
government want to please big people, but average people, normal working people, have had to stay in their homes for months. You know,
Yeah.
and I couldn't believe they even had a cheek to ask to get furloughed.
Really? Oh, did they?
Yeah,
I
they
didn't even know. That's
yeah,
jokes.
they said that I think it was towards the end of lockdown, they were like, well, if football's not allowed to continue, then we want furlough. And I'm like, man, you lot should be paying
I know.
everybody furlough the amount you lot the amount they earn.
Imagine.
Yeah. But there we go, man. But yeah, no, look, everybody's got different perspective on things, but I think that's good because this is the one thing I would say is that, see, like now, me and you were having a discussion, and you have your point of view, I have my point of view, and we're both providing our points. But you see what our government has done? They've given us one way thinking. They haven't
Yeah.
had people up on TV saying, okay, well, here's the other impacts of this decision that we'll make. Here's the the negative effects of these lockdowns. Here's how many people are gonna die of suicide estimated. Here's how many people are gonna get mental health problems, depression. All these things. There's always a cost and benefit, and all they've done is just show you one side of why this is gonna work. But actually, the evidence is clear. Like, these lockdowns haven't worked. Otherwise,
Yeah.
we've had this virus under control a long time ago. But there you go. That's kind of all I wanted. Is just I hate it, and I think it's wrong.
Narrative.
Yeah, when a government or anybody in charge only pushes one, like you say, one narrative. Because there should always, why do we have general elections? Because we have two parties with opposing views and opposing policies, right? So you look at that, you review it, and you say which one you agree with more. We've got a government that are using a one policy and won't even give you any information, right, other than what they deem is the right way. And that's not how life works. That's not how democracy works, and that's not how this country should work. So actually, I think the way they've handled everything is completely wrong.
It's been a bit of a shit show.
Yeah, like it's like living in bloody like communist China. Serious. I mean, and the other thing as well is like, I'm seeing videos on like social media of like 10 police officers, turning up to a gym to close down a gym, and I'm like, they go and do that.
Saw that.
They go and do that, but they won't go and go and like the amount of burglaries in my area is ridiculous, and we know that 80%, 90% get away with it, but apparently having your business open is deemed worse than going in and breaking into someone else's home. Like what the hell has happened to the world, man?
Or like the gym, like people are going to like actually benefit their health and
Yeah.
take clean all the equipment and whatnot. I think it was a gym in Wood Green or something that would refuse to close.
Yeah.
It was quite jokes. All the police were just standing outside because apparently they couldn't actually force them to close. Like, it's a legislation, it's not a law.
Yeah.
So he was just staying open, and like there was loads of police just stood outside, just taking people's names as they go in.
Yeah.
But even that, I thought, what is the point? Like,
Yeah.
you could just turn up to the gym, give a fake name,
Yeah.
and be on your way.
It's just pathetic, though. I mean, how can they say they care about the health when, you know, if people didn't go to the gym, if people didn't stay fit and healthy, how do you expect them to build an immune system to fight off a virus? You know, it's
Yeah,
almost
exactly.
it's almost like they think, oh, nobody's gonna be able to do this on their own. They need a jab in their arm
Bubble
to
wrap.
be able to save them.
Yeah.
Like, you know, most people are healthy, you know, working people that just want to get on with their lives, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, as well as that, how many people, like, I bet they didn't put a statistic down of, you know, how many elderly were meant to die this year, you know, and didn't get to spend their last Christmas with their family, you know. Like, what's a life worth living if you can't even do anything?
Yeah, it's true.
But hey, man, I've had these conversations for like the last 9 months. It drives me crazy, but I still like have to have it for my own sanity. That I still feel like I'm speaking
Just
my
express
mind.
your
You know?
outrage. Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's just crazy. I still say to my friends to this day, there's going to be a documentary in a few years' time, and it's going to be on Netflix, and it's going to be how the world overreacted to COVID-19.
Yeah.
That's what it's going to be. And you'll have all the same experts that told us that we're all going to die. Oh no, we knew it was never that bad.
We never said that.
Oh, I just can hear it now, and yeah, I don't even want to think about it. It's just going to wind me up.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's given me a bit more time to trade, so I don't mind for the time being.
Yeah, that's true. To be fair, it did get. In all fairness, the lockdowns, although I always thought they were gonna like not be a good thing for me, I made the most of it, you know, and I hope everybody has done, because that's the only thing you can do, you know. When they're using these situations, you can sit there and moan, or you can do something about it. And I chose to do something about it, but I still moan at the same time.
Yeah, wouldn't be British if we didn't.
Yeah, exactly, man. Everyone's got to have a moan up. But yeah, we've got a couple questions here. Suicide's a big one. Highest rate in 20 years. Most people I've known have passed from suicide than COVID since it came. Yeah, see, that's the thing. I don't even think they've released any of those figures, but I know in London there's like a I think it's in like West London somewhere. There's a it might be West, I can't remember, but there's like a mental health clinic or something, and they reckon they've seen like it's like over 100% increase or something in mental health patients, and it's just, they reckon it's like a disaster, but it's just gonna get worse. 4 hour closes below 139.51 for further sells. I mean, the 4 hour candle just closed below 139.650. So at least it's getting below all these supports. So more than likely, okay, so if we look at the 4 hour and we're saying we're expecting 4 hour to break this support, obviously for it to do that, it's going to be some move, because the 4 hour candles are clean here, right below 139.500. So if we look at it like that, for confirmation that we can break this support, we need to go to the smaller time frames, and what we want to say is we want to start to see some resistance being created below 139.650, right? Because this is the zone on the 4 hour. This is also going to be a zone on the 1 hour. So we go to the 1 hour, and what we're going to see is that the previous 1 hour candle closed bullish. So it did close with a long wick to the top. It closed bullish, but it closed like a weak bullish. So here's the idea. For further sells, you know, we could say, okay, well, I know it's kind of selling at the low again, but, you know, again, you're expecting price to continue with volume. So I think if the next 1 hour can break the low of the previous 1 hour, there's a higher probability that will break support at 139.500. Let's go to the 30-minute. So now we see on the 30-minute time frame that we have a resistance formed. Now, here's the thing. We have a resistance formed on the 30-minute. That does mean that there is a higher probability for the next 30-minute candle to also to also continue down. So you see how we took the impulse entry on the 15-minute, expecting this low to break. Very similar situation. Because we have a 30-minute candle closing bearish, right? If the next one can break the low of the previous 30-minute candle, you would then expect volume to start to break and for us to continue moving down. In fact, I think we've seen this type of structure happen many times. But first of all, we would want a surpass of the low of the previous 1 hour. Then you look on the 30-minute and you see the resistance formed. So you're like, okay, the best thing to probably do is to wait for this 30-minute to create some form of top wick, come down, break the low, and then you would expect more volume coming in with pre-New York and just overall, because we're creating resistance here, to continue down. Now, at the same time, we have dropped a fair bit. If we look on the 15-minute, it's a little bit messy, but essentially, that's kind of the idea. Now, if that doesn't work, let's say it breaks the low, comes down, and then starts to consolidate, that's where you would say, okay, well, maybe it's going to consolidate a bit, and then I need to wait for another time of volume, which is maybe going to be around 11:30 coming into pre-New York. So around another hour and a half, and then you can anticipate then the break. So it all depends. But I see once we have this 30-minute, it seems like it rejected this area. I think if the next one can break the low, there's a higher probability for it to continue down. But we're not 100% sure because it's already moved down so much. So this is like the second low that is created. So you would really be expecting it to start to break below 139.500. But if it does do that, even if we look on the 30-minute, we just have clean candles. If we look on the 15-minute, also just clean moves here. So this is going to be the ultimate zone for sells. So you could do that. Or what you may want to do is to wait for this support to break. See if we get a candle closing below 139.500 on the smaller time frames leading up to pre-New York. So you have two options. You can either expect now, since you've created a top wick and we come down to break the low, for this minor support to break, right? That's the first thing. Or you might actually say, okay, well, that's going to be a little bit risky because I don't want to get caught in this range. So I'm going to wait for a candle to close below 139.500, and then I can take a nice sell to continue down. But that's completely up to you. But yeah, I would just say that definitely the bias is still heavy bearish. We have a strong 30-minute candle creating resistance, and I do think if the next one breaks the low, we can continue moving down. In that same way, I was talking with Ibs about the USD JPY. When we create resistance, we're creating a platform. When we create resistance here, we create a platform for price to continue further. So you just want to see price respecting these areas where it's creating these resistances. The same way if you're looking for buys, right, you're expecting price to respect wherever it creates that support to continue in that direction. So there you go. But yeah. Any more questions here? Because I think I'm going to call it a day soon. It's all about the money. In the States, if you put COVID as the cause of death, you get an extra money. When the last time you heard of anyone passing because of the flu? Yeah, that's true. In fact, if you Google the latest CDC report in the US, they reckon that the flu is now non-existent, which obviously we all know is rubbish. So the reason why that is because they're putting the flu cases with the number of COVID cases in the same way they're putting the number of flu deaths combined with the number of COVID cases. So actually the number's bigger. So you do have to ask yourself, why would they do that? It makes no sense to me. If I was running a country, I wouldn't like it's like you don't go and put the amount of people that died in a car crash to the amount of people that got run over just because it's to do with cars. These are two separate viruses, and they're two separate entities. Like you can't mix them together, but they seem to think that's okay. Now, I personally think they've done that on purpose because obviously if you see a bigger number of COVID cases, in theory, because that's what they label it as, when actually it's COVID and flu, and if you see a bigger number of COVID deaths when it's actually COVID and flu, we have a bigger number of deaths on the media screen every single day. it's, you know, it's fear 101, isn't it? It's gonna push that fear. It's a bigger number. It's gonna push people and basically put them. It's submission, isn't it? You know, it's using fear to put people into submission. And yeah, I mean, yeah, there you go. That's what it is. No matter what people think, that is what it is. Because otherwise, why else would they put the flu and COVID deaths together? It wouldn't make sense, you know. Because when you have the amount of people that get run over every year, you put that as a figure. That's the amount of people that got run over. How many people died in a car crash? You have that as a figure, you know. But to put two viruses together, it makes no sense. You know, do we put I don't know, like, do we put heart attacks and strokes together? No, because they're two different things, you know. So that's it. You have to ask yourself, why would they do that? But it's obvious they were always going to use fear tactics. But you just, yeah, I suppose you can't expect less from these people. They are politicians at the end of the day. It's what they do best. Talk bullshit and scare people. Ooh, looks like gold actually did break above. So the 30-minute candle closed below resistance, but then the next 30-minute candle closed above. Take a look on the 15. Yeah, see, this is creating a nice structure. So usually what I would like to see is this 15-minute candle closing bullish on gold. But when you see these type of candles on gold, a lot of the times the next candle just comes up and fills the wick. That's what happens a lot of times. But I would say that you know, if it does close bullish, then that's the best confirmation for it to continue. But we'll see. All foes off. See you tomorrow. EuroCAD closed below support. I don't look at EuroCAD. Check out your NZD. Ooh, looks like it broke out of this consolidation. Yeah, it looks like it broke out. Euro JPY. Wow, Euro JPY is just mess. We're just consolidating. I suppose while it's in this big 4 hour range, it's just not going to move right. Yep, see Aaron, thanks for coming on. Yeah, I'm going to be leaving here in a second myself anyway. So, final note from me then. If we look at GJ now, see how this 30-minute candle, it never broke the low of the previous 30-minute. So that is exactly where, if say I missed this move and we had this exact structure, let's say below 139.800, I would have entered once we broke the low. Okay, that is where I would have taken the entry. So since it never broke the low, that is why it's kind of moving up at this point. So I hope people didn't anticipate that, you know, because you had one 30-minute candle closing bearish, that's enough. Usually when I see a 30-minute candle closing bearish like this, and we have a low right over here, I would want to see a break of this 30-minute low to continue down, not just based on the close. So that's why this candle is now pushing up, and then you see the 1 hour is coming up to fill this wick, but because it never broke the low of the previous 1 hour as well. But there we go. So we had a good trade today. GPJPY sells we caught. So this sell ran for around 20 pips before pulling back to the entry. So I hope everyone's secured positions, secured profits. But yeah, I think it was a good day today. So we had GPJPY sells. Gold is now currently breaking up, but still it was kind of ranging in the session. Seems as though it is going to try and create support here, but I would say usually it just continues running up. FTSE, we didn't really look at it, but it seems like the FTSE's now created support to continue further bullish. GBCAD as well. We was kind of expecting this support to break, and then we had a couple of 30 minutes closing above, and then, you know, if you look on the 15-minute, we spoke about the structure on the 15-minute and how there wasn't confirmation for sales, maybe the break of this 15-minute low, but still this kind of structure happens a lot of times, and it's just one that you need to kind of have seen happen and recognize to know that there won't be confirmation, but there's a high chance it's coming down. Let's say that's the case and you're like, okay, so where would I enter? Well, when I kind of see this 15-minute candle close like this, a lot of times you're going to maybe have to take the sell, keeping your stop kind of above this zone where you see we kind of wicked up, because now you're expecting the next candle to continue down. It's kind of like a booby trap candle. It's kind of what they call it. Looking on Euro JPY is just mess. It's done a double fake out. I think, yeah, Euro JPY is just not good to trade today. While it's in this 4-hour range, it just doesn't seem to be moving very well. I think based off the 1 hour, maybe the 1 hour is creating a top wick to continue down, but it's still very messy. Even on the 30-minute, it's still very messy. Euro NZD is trying to move bullish, but again, it was very messy today, Euro NZD. I think the Euro pairs were lack of volume here this morning. That's why we had Euro NZD consolidating and Euro JPY just kind of moving a bit weird. But there we go. So I'm going to call it a day here now, guys. Thanks, everyone, for coming on to the stream. So we'll be back, obviously, tomorrow, 7:30 a.m. If you
Take it easy, bro.
Yeah, no worries, mate. I'll see you tomorrow.
See you later, guys.
Bye.
See you, Kelsey.
Bye.
So if you caught this trade on the stream today, drop a like. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. But yeah, so everyone have a great day. Enjoy the rest of your trading day. No overtrading. Keep it simple. And I'll see you tomorrow, 7:30 a.m. Thanks very much, guys. Thank you, guys. See you tomorrow.